Adipurusham Tamaham Vajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Driya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Vajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Vajami
For the pleasure of their Lordship, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Shri Radhavallabh, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. Daily score report for Monday, 14th of March. Books distributed. Sadasiv Prabhu, 6 small, 2 medium for 2.5 book points. Matsya Mataji, 1 small, 1 big, 3 mahabig for 7.25 book points. And Nitin Chauhan Prabhu, 2 small, 2 big and 5 mahabig for 12.5 book points. That gives the daily total of 9 small, 2 medium, 3 big and 8 mahabig for 22.25 book points. Preaching score, Radha Chaiba, 72 guests for 865 Lakshmi points. Gopal's, 160 guests for 1,925 Lakshmi points. That gives the daily total of 232 guests for 2,790 Lakshmi points and weekly running total of 298 guests for 3,587 Lakshmi points. Lakshmi Liberated, Sadasiv Prabhu, 24, Matsya Mataji, 41, Nitin Chauhan Prabhu, 170, Farm Festival, 1,443. That gives the daily total of 1,678 and running weekly total of 4,175 Lakshmi points. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sankirtan Yagna ki jai.
Krishna praptiyo yaha hoite. Krishna praptiyo yaha hoite. Padmavakya chitete koriyahya. Arna koriya mane hasa. Shri Guru Charane Rati hai se utamagati. He prasade pure sarva hasa. He prasade pure sarva hasa. Chachudana Gilaja Janme Janme Prabhu se. Chachudan Gilaja Janme Janme Prabhu se. Divya Jnana Hide Prakashito. Jnana Hide Prakashito. Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avirave Jasayate. Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avirave Jasayate. Vidgaya Hare Charito. Vidgaya Hare Charito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamaja Narabandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamaja Narabandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamaja Narabandhu. Lokana Lokera Devana. Lokana Lokera Devana. Aha Prabhu Kurudu Yadeho More Padachaya. Aha Prabhu Kurudu Yadeho More Padachaya. Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Satchinandana, Jaya Satchinandana. Jaya Satchinandana, Gaura Hari. Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nita, 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 Nitai, Nitai Gauranga. Nita, 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 Nitai, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Srila Prabhupada ki.
arrange for some. Thank you. Just normal temperature, not normal. Okay. That's good. Who will play cartels? Who can play cartels? School holidays on or? School holidays now, is it? No, but I mean all the other kids. Is school holiday time or no? No. No, they're different. I'm asking all the other kids. Okay. What is your name? Jay. Nice to meet you. Have we met before? Whereabouts? You came to the farm? Okay. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. How long you been in the ashram? Okay. Very good. Ajayarata Matava Kunja Bihari Hey Rata Matava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janbalaba Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janbalaba Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Jana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Jana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Matava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Matava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janbalaba Girivaradari Gopi Janbalaba Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraj Janaranjana Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jayo Radha Matava Kunja Vihari Hey Radha Matava Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Paragraj, Acharya, Ashtatara Satashi Śrīmad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brindi ki, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Go Premanandi, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devyam saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, chapter entitled The Hamsaguya Prayers, text number 44. Prito ham te prajanarta Yate sho brimham nam tapa Mamaisha kama bhutanam Yad bhuyasu vibhutaya Prito ham te prajanarta Yate sho buddhinhanam tapaha Mamaisha kamo bhutanam Yad bhuyasu vibhutaya Prito ham te prajanarta Yate sho buddhinhanam tapaha Mamaisha kamo bhutanam Yad bhuyasu vibhutaya. Matajis. Prita. I'm very much pleased. Aham. I. Te. With you. Prajanarta. O King of population. Yat. Because. Te. Your. Asya. Of this material world. Udbrimhanam, causing increase. Tapaha, austerity. Mama, my. Esha, this. Karma, desire. Bhutanam, of the living entities. Yat, which. Bhuyasu, may there be. Vibhutaya, advancement in all respects. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Prajapati Daksha, you have performed extreme austerities for the welfare and growth of the world. My desire also is that everyone within this world be happy. I am therefore very pleased with you because you are endeavoring to fulfill my desire for the welfare of the entire world. Translation responsibly. My dear Prajapati Daksha, you have performed extreme austerities for the welfare and growth of the world. My desire also is that everyone within this world be happy. I am therefore very pleased with you because you are endeavoring to fulfill my desire for the welfare of the entire world. Purport. After every dissolution of the material cosmos, all the living entities take shelter in the body of Karana Dakshaya Vishnu. And when creation takes place again, they come forth from his body in their various species to resume their activities. Why does the creation take place in such a way that the living entities are put into conditioned life to suffer the threefold miseries imposed upon them by the material nature? Here, the Lord says to Daksha, you desire to benefit all living entities, and that is also my desire. The living entities who come in contact with the material world are meant to be corrected. All the living entities within this material world have revolted against the service of the Lord, and therefore they remain within this material world as ever conditioned Nityapada, taking birth again and again. There is a chance, of course, of their being liberated, but nevertheless, the conditioned souls are not taking advantage of this opportunity. Continue in a life of sense enjoyment, and thus they are punished by birth and death again and again. This is the law of nature. As the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 7:14, the divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita 15:7, the Lord says, the living entities in the conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. The living entity's struggle for existence within the material world is due to his rebellious nature. Unless the living entity surrenders to Krishna, he must continue this life of struggle. The Krishna consciousness movement is not a fad. It is a bona fide movement intended to promote the welfare of all conditioned souls by trying to elevate everyone to the platform of Krishna consciousness. If one does not come to this platform, he must continue in material existence perpetually, sometimes in the upper planets and sometimes in the lower planets, as confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Majja 21:18. Kabu swage utaya kabu narake dubaya. The conditioned soul sometimes descends into nescience and sometimes gets some relief by being relatively freed from it. This is the life of the conditioned soul. Prajapati Daksha is trying to benefit the conditioned souls by begetting them to give them a life with a chance for liberation. Liberation means surrender to Krishna. If one begets children with the purpose of training them to surrender to Krishna, fatherhood is very good. Similarly, when the spiritual master trains the conditioned souls to become Krishna conscious, his position is successful. If one gives the conditioned souls a chance to become Krishna conscious, all his activities are approved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is extremely pleased. As stated here, Prito Hum. Following the examples of the previous acharyas, all the members of the Krishna consciousness movement should try to benefit the conditioned souls by inducing them to become Krishna conscious and giving them all facilities to do so. Such activities constitute real welfare work. By such activities, a preacher or anyone who endeavors to spread Krishna consciousness is recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 18:68 and 69. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Omagyan Tivadandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bievacha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. So, this verse is being spoken to Prajapati Daksha. He appears within the Bhagavatam in several places. He's a Prajapati. Prajapati means a progenitor, one who populates the universe. The Vedic understanding is the universe is populated by an advanced civilization. The modern version, which we don't agree with as devotees, is that the universe was populated by evolution. So we are evolving in consciousness. But according to the Bhagavatam, it is the opposite. We have an opposite point of view, which is we are devolving in consciousness. Society is not evolving in consciousness. It's going down at this point in time, in general. Except the golden age is there. Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago and started the golden age. So because the golden age has begun, so many devotees are here and they are uplifting their consciousness. Our consciousness is going upwards at this point in time. Most of the time. Right? Sometimes our consciousness goes like, Yeah. There's a bit of a graph. Right? Up and down. Anyway, we all know that. But in general, we're going up towards Krishna. Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Bij means a seed. So from the bij, the Bhakti Lata is growing. Growing nicely, hopefully. Krishna consciousness is very powerful. This process is very powerful, sadhana bhakti. And if you follow it properly, then you can achieve the result very quickly. You can become Krishna conscious very quickly. The bhakti lata can grow very luxuriously. But you have to have all the right elements. And therefore Mahaprabhu, when he's teaching Rupa Goswami, he gives a very nice analogy of the seed and the garden and the creeper. So if it's the same with planting a plant. Just like at our farm at Hare Krishna Valley, then, we're growing food, but it's not easy. Just like we have not a lot of apples at the moment on the trees, but now they're all getting these little spots on them. Because when there's too much moisture in the air, they get it's like a fungus, like a growth. That's why, in the outside world, they spray everything to stop all these growths. It's not that easy. Everyone's out, just go and grow your food. It's not so easy. There's insects constantly competing. The birds eat everything. And then you've got natural diseases coming. If you don't have enough water, if you have too much water, all the pollen, the pollen will come onto the plants, the fruit trees, the plums. The pollen will appear. And then if a storm comes right at that moment, which sometimes happens, it knocks it all off, and then you don't get any fruit that year. And it's very sensitive, this whole thing. Plants are sensitive, just like human beings. Everyone is overly sensitive in Kali Yuga. Doesn't take much to upset someone now in Kali Yuga. I could probably upset most of you in about 30 seconds if I wanted to. I just say one or two things, you're like, well, how can you say that to me? Like that. It's very easy to disturb people in Kali Yuga. In the first canto, it says that, in the first chapter actually, it says that people in Kali Yuga are short-lived, unfortunate. It gives this list of problems. But it says, above all, they are always disturbed. Kali Yuga ki. Everyone's disturbed. Above all, everything. What's the main quality of Kali Yuga? Everyone's disturbed, right? Constantly. Right? You don't have to say much to someone to get them disturbed. Even the devotees, to say some little thing, everyone gets completely disturbed. That's the nature of the age of Kali. Plants are like that also. And Mahaprabhu gives a very nice example when he's teaching Rupa Goswami. He says, there is a bhakti lata which grows. Now, if you follow the process, because Mahaprabhu also gives the process, it is Gorpanim on Friday. So Gorpanim, technically, it's our second biggest festival of the year. Right? Very significant festival. It's actually when our new year begins for the Gaudiyas. Right? This is our new year. How long since Mahaprabhu was here? 36? This year? This year. Okay, so 537, right? So actually that's our calendar. It's not 2022, it's 537. Maybe one day the world will write it like that. But at the moment it is 222, since Jesus was here. Jesus was so prominent, we name our whole calendar system after him. That's how powerful Jesus was. So one day maybe Mahaprabhu, maybe the Lord himself, maybe that will be the worldwide dating system. We'll see. So it is his birthday, so it is significant. So significant, this avatar, this incarnation. If you meditate on him all week, you have to prepare your consciousness. Because Gorpanim is coming on Friday. You can't just wake up on Friday morning and say, oh, it's Gorpanim, now get enthusiastic. You have to prepare your consciousness. Just like we had the Olympics recently, wasn't it? They had it. Was it winter or the main ones? The winter ones. Where was it? China, wasn't it? Yeah. I totally missed it. I totally missed it. Yeah. My life means nothing. I've missed the Olympics. Winter Olympics in Beijing. Right? Very important. So in the Olympics, you know, they don't just get there. All the athletes just get there and then they say, oh, it's the Olympics. Now let's... No. They train for months and years to prepare for these things. You don't just walk in. So same for Gaura Purnima, same for devotional service, same for Bhakti Yoga in general. You have to prepare yourself constantly. You can't just turn up at Mangalati. Your sadhana begins the day before. If you want to chant good rounds today, you have to prepare yourself yesterday. Right? You have to go to bed early, get good sleep, take good rest. Right? Not eat too much yesterday. Not speak prajalpa. Not speaking disturbing topics. You have to do your service nicely, not offend devotees. You have to honor the prasadam. You have to do your service attentively. All these things. So many elements are there. If you want to chant good rounds today, you have to chant good rounds yesterday. That's how it works. Right? You can't just like, oh, it's Gorpanim, today I'm going to chant good rounds. No. If you weren't chanting good rounds all week, how are you going to chant good rounds on Gorpanim? It doesn't work like that. It's a process. Right? You have to build yourself up continuously. So, the Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotion, it will grow quickly and powerfully if you follow the process properly. Now, Rupa Goswami, he explains in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the Nectar of Devotion, it says, he gives us 64 items of bhakti, right? Chapter 6, what is chapter 6 called in the Nectar of Devotion? Yeah, 64 items, right? He gives us 64 items. Right? How do you serve Krishna? Hands up if you want to serve Krishna. Oh, good. This is a good audience. Now I am enthusiastic. So, if you want to serve Krishna, Rupa Goswami says, okay, I'll give you 64 ways to serve Krishna. Where do the 64 come from? They come from Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam. He gives 9 ways to serve Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So he gives you 9 ways. So Rupa Goswami took those 9 and he made 64 to make it easy for you. Because you want to serve Krishna. You all said, I want to serve Krishna. Okay, 64 ways you can serve him. He makes it easy for you. Where did the 9 come from? Prahlad Maharaj gave us 9 ways to serve Krishna. Where did they come from? They come from the Bhagavad Gita. Mamana bhava ma bhakto ma jaji mam namaskuru. Krishna gives 4 ways that you can serve him. Right? Where did those 4 come from? They come from the following verse. The verse that goes after Mamana, which is, because Arjuna says to Krishna, you have given 4 things. Can you just give 1 thing? People in Kali Yuga sometimes, they can't handle too much. So just give me 1 thing. And even you give 1 thing, they can't handle that. That's Kali Yuga. But just 1 thing. Just surrender unto me. Right? Okay, so what does surrender mean? Offer homage, right? Those 4 things. Okay, now we'll turn it into 9. Prahlad Maharaj says, okay, I'll give you more mercy. I'll give you 9 ways to serve me. Right? And then Rupa Goswami says, Mahaprabhu says, okay, we'll give you 64. We'll open it right up. So those 64, when you get to the list, you read 59, and then the last 5 are a repetition of the 5 most important angas which were in the list, the previous list of 59. So he takes out the most important. Right? Now these are very important because Rupa Goswami says the power of these 5 is hard to reconcile. How powerful these 5 are. Right? If you do these 5 types of bhakti, right, he actually says you can attain bhava quickly. Right? And bhava bhakti is very elevated. But he says you can get Bhava Bhakti quickly by doing these 5 types of bhakti very carefully. So then what are the 5? Do you know them? You have to learn them quickly. These are very important. First one is called Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means associating with devotees. Now Jiva Goswami, he comments on that particular anga from Rupa Goswami, and he said it means advanced devotees, particularly. We associate with all the devotees because that's what we need to do. It's purifying to associate, but especially you need advanced association, because advanced devotees, they will take you very high, very quickly. Right? The advanced devotees will help you to, in other words, you can only advance to the degree of the association that you receive. Right? If you receive advanced association, if the devotees you're associating with are this advanced, you can come to that level. If they're this advanced, you can come to that level. They're that, then you can come to that level. So you have to find advanced devotees, genuinely advanced devotees. Now we're very fortunate in ISKCON because there's one particular devotee in ISKCON who is a Paramahamsa. Do you know his name? Yeah, there's a few sitting here. But there's one who is Maha Paramahamsa. What is his name? Yeah, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami, Srila Prabhupada. A.C. Abhay Charanaravinda. Abhay? I know the second part. Abhay? Oh, something else. I know what the second word is. Abhay? Oh, something else. Right? Abhay means fearless. Fearless. It's significant. Significant. Prabhupada is the Yuga Acharya. Right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga Avatar. Right? It is only by Mahaprabhu's mercy you can go back to Krishna. But Prabhupada is the Yuga Acharya. There's so many gurus, right? But Prabhupada his position is very special, prominent in Kali Yuga. This will become understood as time goes by in the next 10,000 years. People will understand Prabhupada's actual position, right? So he is Yuga Acharya. So we're very fortunate because in ISKCON, you can associate with Prabhupada through Shiksha, through his Vani, through his instructions. So that's why Prabhupada placed so much emphasis on reading his books. Because when you read his books, you're associating with Prabhupada. Like last night, we're studying the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the Bhakti-Sava Bomba course. Sometimes devotees say, I teach these courses, I facilitate these courses. They say, why do you do these courses? The main reason I do it is because it forces me to study Prabhupada's books very deeply, very carefully. Because I need purification. Right? And if devotees want to come and listen, okay, that's nice. Right? If devotees don't want to come and listen, I'll just do it myself. I'll study, because we have to study Prabhupada's books, because then you're associating with Prabhupada. And then, because Prabhupada his advancement is, you see the roof? You see the roof? Prabhupada is more advanced than that. Prabhupada is all the way to Goloka Vrindavan. Right? So you can also go all the way to Goloka Vrindavan by associating with Prabhupada in his books. That is the potency, that is the power. And I've noticed over the years, because sometimes we have to counsel devotees. Devotees come to us and they say, can you give us advice? Can you give us instructions? Can you give us some guidance like that? And then usually when devotees come, we say, okay, what's the problem? And they start saying, I have this problem, I have that problem, and then I have that problem, and then I have this problem. And we say, okay, are you reading Prabhupada's books? Prabhuji, I don't have time at the moment. That's the problem. That is the problem. Because if you're doing that, if you're chanting your rounds nicely, right? Prabhupada always said, chant your rounds attentively. He didn't say just chant rounds. Chant. If you chant japa nicely, and you read Prabhupada's books regularly, right, in a deep way, you're not going to have so many problems. Yeah, it doesn't mean problems don't stop externally. The problems will not stop. You know, if you think the world's got problems right now, because the world has a lot of problems right now, like I've been living on this earth for 52 years, I've never seen it like this. Like this is the worst I've seen it. Like the problems are, if you think this is bad, this is just the beginning. You know, I woke up this morning, you know, and then on the news app, you know, they put little banners, and so it said, you know, very bad news came up, so like on my phone, very bad news. It says, coffee, you know, people drink coffee. Coffee might go up to $7 a cup. I'm serious. This was on the news banner this morning. Because now we have problem with the trade around the world, and now there are so many problems. It's going to cause problems for things to travel all around, and prices are going to go up. Look, you see what's happening with petrol? No, you see what's happening? Yeah, you saw. Right, it's nearly hitting $2. Just about to hit $1.99. You know, they keep it at $1.99. Everyone's watching it. Now that's what they do. $1.99, and you watch. As soon as it hits $2, it won't go up like 1 cent anymore. It goes up by 10 cents like this. It will jump. You know, in New Zealand, it's $4 a litre. $4 a litre. In Germany? $3.50. Yeah, in euro. What's that? In euros. No, I'm saying in euros. In euros, it's $3.50 in Germany. $3.50 euro. In Europe, it's $2.50 in dollars. Euros. So it's 350 euros. 250 but in Germany, 350 you say, yeah. So it's going up. It's such an uncomplicated group. People ask me why I don't come and give class here, because it's hard just to give class, just to get through. So what we're seeing is the prices are going, and it's happening with petrol, but it's about to happen with everything. Yeah, for everything. You watch. Everything's about to happen. Right? Prabhupada predicted this. Prabhupada said 50 years ago, he said your oil civilization will run out. It will come, now it's all beginning to happen. Right? Everything's about to, you know, so all the problems of Kali Yuga, we're in a very good time. No? Jiva Goswami actually says this. He says, the good thing about Kali Yuga, because everyone says, oh, Kali Yuga is so negative, it is. But he said the good thing is it makes you chant very sincerely. Because the problems are about to get, you know, the cost of living is about to go like this. In the next 5-10 years you watch. You know? It'll be hard more and more difficult for people to live. In New Zealand they're saying already there is like a cost of living crisis. People are finding it just hard to live, just to meet the day. That's going to happen all over the world now. This is a big problem, right? So when these things become prominent and when people are struggling, they become much more serious in Krishna consciousness. So this is the best time to preach, because people will come to us more, you know, when the difficulties take place, right? So Prabhupada's name was Abai. Right? It's very significant. Very significant, because, you know, he's the Yuga-Acharya. His father could have given him any name. No? But Abai means fearless, at the lotus feet of Krishna. It's very significant. So if you also want to become fearless, because we need to become fearless, especially right now, because everything's going to become very difficult soon, right? We need to become fearless. Right? And how do you become fearless? You absorb yourself like Prabhupada. You associate with Prabhupada. So sometimes devotees come and they say, I have this problem, I have that problem. Then read Prabhupada's books, associate with Prabhupada. And then you will go very high. So therefore it is said sadhu sangha. That is the first item that Rupa Goswami chooses, which is the most important item of bhakti. Right? If you associate with devotees, your devotional service, your bhakti lata, will go to the spiritual world very quickly. You have to associate with devotees nicely. right? Maya is tricky, right? Prabhupada says, Kali personified, will enter into the Krishna consciousness movement. He writes this. Kali will enter into the Krishna consciousness movement and try to cause factions between the devotees, divide them. We can't let that happen. How do you not let that happen? You have to be humble. One time my Guru Maharaj was here, Tamal Krishna Goswami, and it was 1996, I think. It was a number of years ago. And he was upstairs in Prabhupada House. And he was in the bathroom, actually, and he was shaving. And he left the door open, and we were talking. Yeah, he was just shaving, and we're talking. And he said, how are you doing and everything? I said, I like this one. And then he said, how is your relationship with one particular devotee? Senior devotee in the career. And I said, a few problems, like that. And he just looked at me, and he said, just be humble. Just be humble. And one thing I haven't mastered it yet. I'm not always humble. Quite often I'm the opposite from humble. But one thing that I understand, I try to do, is that if we can be humble, every problem in any communication that we're having with any individual can be reconciled if we take the humble position. That's why Lord Chaitanya says, Trinada pi sunichena, Torah pi sisa. Be humble, be tolerant. Because when you take that position, right, you can chant constantly, your mind becomes peaceful. But as soon as your ego comes up a little bit and you say, why is this person saying like this to me? And you won't back down. Sometimes we don't do that. We feel it in ourselves, we don't like to back down. And if you don't do that, if you stay very proud, it becomes very difficult for you to chant the holy name peacefully. Because you can chant 16 rounds a day. Most of us here chant 16 rounds. But you can be chanting 16 rounds but not be attentive while you're chanting. Sometimes we chant whole rounds just thinking of people that we don't like. Right? Hare Krishna, this person, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Why doesn't Krishna make them disappear from the material world? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We have all these things. They did a survey one time of people in offices who work for their boss, and they did a survey, and in the survey they found out that 60% of the people in the offices daydream about ways to kill their boss. Or maybe if I just push him out the window, or maybe if I put something in his coffee, or maybe if not they're actually going to do it, but people think like that. So we can also, as devotees, we can spend a lot of time thinking like that. Or I don't like this devotee, or I don't like that. What's the point? Then how will you go to Krishna? So sadhu sangha means you have to be very careful how you associate with the devotees. So then the second item that Rupa Goswami gives is nama sankirtan. Nama sankirtan means chanting the holy name. Sankirtan means with others. You have to chant with others. Right? So we chant with others, sankirtan. That is the most powerful way to go back to Krishna. But you have to do it in the right consciousness as well. Sometimes devotees become, like on Gorpanim, we'll have big kirtans, but sometimes devotees get too rajasic, too much passion. It's not actually chanting the holy name. Right? It's chanting the holy name, but it's not like a purified chanting. It's not an advanced chanting. The consciousness is just, everyone's just like, oh. Like one time Prabhupada was on the stage, they were having a program. Prabhupada was sitting on the stage and they were having a big kirtan in front of Prabhupada. And all the brahmacharis were getting very enthusiastic. And then they're all looking at each other and they're going, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, like that. So Prabhupada stopped the kirtan, mid-kirtan. He said, stop. Whoever was leading, stop, and just stop. Prabhupada said, not like this. Prabhupada said, like this. Start the kirtan again. So if it's too rajasic, you're not getting purified. You're just having you're just letting go of some testosterone or whatever chemicals in your body, or for the Mataji's oestrogen or whatever it is. It's just, just your chemicals going. It's just, or as Bhaktivedanta Maharaj says, it's just bile. That's all it is, bile from the liver. It causes heat, right, and then makes you very, energetic. And you're just letting your bile run, right? That's not, chanting the holy name is a different thing. We can be enthusiastic, we can dance ecstatically, that's no problem. But the holy name should be the center of our consciousness, not just some rajasic thing and who can do the most crazy dance moves. And that's not what it's about. So Nama Sankirtan, right, can take you back to Godhead. Golokera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. This, Prabhupada actually says in the Anchalila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Maha Mantra is actually the sound of Krishna's flute. Right? Meditate on that when you're chanting your rounds. That Hare Krishna, Hare, that's actually Krishna's flute. He's playing right now in Goloka. That sound is coming into the material world as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. That's the sound of Krishna's flute. If you meditate like that, it's very powerful. So Sadhu Sangha Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavat Shravan. Bhagavat Shravan means hearing the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Right? You have to hear the Bhagavatam. Listen to lectures. Just like during COVID, I didn't come to the temple for a long time. I came back this time in, the second break. I hadn't been since last May. May till, I came back in February, beginning of February. So I hadn't been for, 7, 8 months, 9 months, whatever that is. Long time. So then, how do we survive? So I was listening to Shravanam, Bhagavat Shravan. Indudumna Swami, giving amazing lectures for the last few years from Vrindavan on Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. So I've just been listening to those things. But you have to listen continuously and read Prabhupada's books continuously. Right? And then you stay enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness. So Sadhu Sangha Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vash. Mathura Vash means you have to reside in Vrindavan. Very interesting. Prabhupada installed Radha Vallabha. Where did he install Radha Vallabha? No, in St Kilda. Just Gauranatai were installed just here, right there. But Radha Vallabha were installed in St Kilda the year, 1 or 2 years before. So when Prabhupada installed Radha Vallabha, he gave a lecture and he said, this is not Melbourne. This is Vaikunta. He says, it is Vrindavan. So if you reside in a holy place, this is a holy place, right? It is Vrindavan. Right? It's not material. This place is not material. Last night after I finished class, I came out in the courtyard. The weather was amazing. It was beautiful, it was warm and no wind, it was peaceful. And the garden, it really felt like Vrindavan. It felt like a spiritual dimension. The first time I walked in here, years ago, as soon as I walked in, I didn't want to leave. I walked in, I thought, what is this place? It has so much spiritual energy. So it's so powerful. There's a holy dham. Prabhupada has created holy dhams all over the earth. And then the most powerful holy dham is in India. That's called Vrindavan and Mayapur and Jagannath Puri. So Prabhupada says we should go to those places once a year, if we can. So, Sadhu Sangha, Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vash, and Srimurati Shradaya Sevan. Worship the deities with great Shraddha, faith. Right? If you worship the deities, Lord Chaitanya teaches us the deities are non-different from Krishna. Right? And if you worship the deities, because if you look at those 64 angas of bhakti that Rupa Goswami gives us to serve Krishna, most of those 64 are... you want to sit down? Yeah, sit on that side. Most of those 64 relate to deity worship. Right, if you look at the items, right, most of them are related to deity worship. right? There's chanting the holy name, residing in the holy place, hearing the Bhagavatam, several others, but most of them relate to deity worship. Because deity worship engages our senses. You make garlands for Krishna. You dress Krishna. You cook for Krishna. You anoint his body with oils, right? So many different ways to serve Krishna. So it engages our senses. You can serve the deities all day, and your senses will be fully engaged. You can serve them for the next 50 years. I was saying last week that Jananivas Prabhu just had his 50th anniversary of serving Radha Madhava. 50 years. Most people can't do something for 5 minutes. You say, just do this for 5 minutes. Oh no, too difficult. Okay, do it for 1 week. Oh, that's quite difficult. Do it for 50 years. Right? 50 years doing the same. And all his senses used in the service of Krishna. Right? Amazing. It takes 100 pujaris to serve Radha Madhava. I heard Pankajangari Prabhu giving a talk. 100 pujaris to serve Radha Madhava. Right? So those 100 pujaris, they make the clothes for the deities. It says, I think they said there's like 10 or 20 devotees just growing the flowers, all the flowers to offer to the deities, right? Making the clothes, doing the puja, doing the cooking, right? Organizing, cleaning the paraphernalia, everything. It's 100 devotees just to serve the deities. So deity worship can completely absorb your consciousness. Prabhupada said the most fortunate devotees in the universe are the pujaris of Krishna Balaram. So if you become a pujari of the deities, that's why it's such a great honor to serve Radha Vallabha. These are not ordinary deities. These are installed by Srila Prabhupada himself. Sometimes we go to the Holy Dham and we go to a temple and we say, oh, Rupa Goswami worship these deities, or Jiva Goswami worship these deities, or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or Bhaktivedanta, they worship these deities. This is a Leela Stan. Right? You come here, Prabhupada worshipped these deities, installed these deities. Extremely powerful. So these 5 ways, they can take you back to Godhead very quickly. You can go back to Godhead quickly in this lifetime. It's possible. You don't have to wait another lifetime. But if you just follow everything very nicely, don't commit offenses, right? Be very careful about committing offenses, stay humble, engage yourself fully in devotional service, you can go home back to Krishna in this lifetime. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki, Shriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Gopani Maha Mahotsava ki, going back to Godhead in this lifetime ki. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Prabhupada said, just chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulated principles, you can go back in this lifetime. Prabhupada said that. That's a powerful benediction. Right? That's not too much to ask. Right? If we can do these things, very good chance Prabhupada may take us back. Any questions or comments? Anything we discuss?
Hare Krishna Prabhupada, thank you for the wonderful. My question is, you were talking about if we have association with God devotees, then we become advanced quickly. So we see how some devotees get association with Prabhupada, but some devotees left. So my question is, what else do we need to get maximum benefit?
What else do we need to do so we get maximum benefit? Because some people, they associated with Prabhupada, but then they left. So what should we do? So what else should we do? So the point is that in English we have a saying. I don't know if you've heard it. It says, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Have you heard that? No, but it's a saying sometimes we say in English. So you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Right? So you can even get Prabhupada's association, or association of your Guru Maharaj or any advanced devotee, but whether you take advantage of it or not, that is up to you. So there is no magic formula. It's up to you. If you want to go back to Godhead, Prabhupada has given you everything to go back to Godhead. He gave all those devotees the opportunity to go, but they did not take advantage. So we should not be like that. If they make that's their choice. If they want to do that, okay, they do that. But we should not do that. You should go back to Godhead in this lifetime. serve the devotees, be very humble, worship the deities, do all your bhakti. Prabhupada said 16 rounds, 4 regulated principles, go back to the spiritual world. TK? Okay. And take some prasad as well. Okay? Okay. And go to school. Like that. Or don't go to school, whatever you do. But do your study. Whether you homeschool or go to school, that's not important. The point is you have to do your study nicely. If you're going to school, or sometimes you go to university, some people, they go to, I never went to university, some people go to university. So you should take it, if you're going to university, that is your service to Krishna. My Guru Maharaj went back to university when he was nearly 50. And he became the top student in the history of the university. Seriously, he became the top student, right? Once a year they give an award. He got the award, like for the top award and it was the first time in the history of the universe where it was a unanimous decision about who got the award. In the history of the universe. SMU, it's like a famous university in America. And then he got a scholarship to Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge. Which is Cambridge and Oxford, the most well-known universities in the world. He got a scholarship to Cambridge University. So he said, if I'm going to study, I'll treat it like it's my service to Krishna. So I'll do my best. And he wrote a thesis about Prabhupada. That was his service. So whatever you're going to do, if you go to school, if you go to work, do it the best. If you're going to go to work, because we have to go to work because you've got family and everything, go to work, make a lot of money, and give it to Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna will take it anyway. So make his job easy. Krishna's going to take everything anyway. So you're better off just, giving it to him. Otherwise, he takes everything in the end. Cooperate with him. Any other questions? What's that? Yeah, good question. What is the way we take advantage of associating with the advanced devotees? The most important way is to hear the Bhagavatam from them. That's the first service. The first service, you hear from them. You just sit submissively and you hear, right? Then you have to do menial services. So you have to serve them in a menial way. So, hey, what's going on here? I'm trying to give class, you have a boxing match here in the table. You want to punch each other, you go outside, okay? So, but then you have to render menial services to the devotees, right? This is very important, right? Because when you render menial service to the devotee, you bring them some water. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, our Prabhupada's guru, he said that every day we should render 5 menial services to the devotees. So I used to meditate on that when I was a brahmachari, when I was living in the ashram like you guys. So from Mangalati until, say, 4:30 till 8:30, from when Mangalati begins to class meeting, I used to try to do 5 menial services to the devotees. So after Mangalati, I would get the mats for all the devotees to sit on. When we finish taking darshan, I would serve the charanamrita to the devotees. And then I can't remember the other 3. I must have done something, because I tried to do 5 in the morning, even before we got out like that. And then you go up, you serve prasadam to the devotees like this. So do service, do menial services like that. And by doing that, then you will attract the mercy of the devotees. They'll see you have a nice service attitude, and then they will bless you. And then you will advance quickly like that. Make sense? Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki? Gauranga. Coffee's going to be $7.
Yes.
Where have you been?
All over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Germany,
Yeah.
UK,
Yeah.
Mexico,
Yeah.
New York. New York?
New York.
Yeah. Germany was the best. I liked it the most. I was just there at the end.
At the end?
Yeah, before I came here, just before I came here.
Which place?
Simachala. The Lion Temple. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Germany was a very sweet, very affectionate. I was surprised that Germany was like,
You have a book?